But right now, I'm here at Planta Queen. So many of you know this fabulous restaurant because of their vegan, delicious dishes, and because of this wall that I'm standing behind, that people take so many Instagram pictures. Well, I'm here with the woman behind it all, textile designer and a beautiful friend of mine, Candice Kaye. So Candice, I'm going to show you some of her work over here. Tell me how you even got into something like this, because I don't think it's very common.
It's not. Well, it is, but I started in interior design and I hated it. And I fell in love with like mood boards and fabric and finding the colors and stuff, and no one told me that this was an actual industry. So when I figured it out, I always wanted to have my own thing. The opportunity was so vast that I knew I had to explore it more, and that's when I applied to the program at FIT in New York City and gave it a shot.
Well, you've done more than give it a shot, I'll tell you that. You've worked with a variety of like places and brands as well, right? Who have you worked with?
Okay, so this is Planta Queen, obviously. Planta, so in Toronto, there's Planta, Mary B, Biblos, Baddies, Bolo, Ballroom Ball, and then in New York, Miami, Australia, and as well.
And you do everything from wallpaper to fabrics.
Yeah, so there's fabric, there's wallpaper, embroidery, rugs, and then really anything with the surface. I mean, the plan down the road is to have like cutlery and plates and all that stuff.
Oh, that's amazing. You're going to show me how the process kind of all works from start to end. So when we come back right after the break, we're going to get to painting.
Good Monday morning. Welcome back to Breakfast Television. Where is anyone see Dina? Where's Dee?
I am one with the wallpaper. Shh.
Oh, hey.
Where does the Dina end and the wallpaper begin? Nobody knows.
No one knows.
Shh. Are we supposed to throw to somebody?
Yes. Okay, we'll send things over to Nicole right now. Who's with Candice Kaye? Good morning, Nick. You're ready.
Good morning,
sorry,
Dina.
we can't see you, Nick.
That looks awesome on you. And just so you know, Candice Kaye is also a big fan of yours. So maybe she'll be able to design a dress for you.
That'd be sweet. She's saying that
Yeah, for me? Diva, we'll get you some matching socks, because I know how much you love to wear socks.
Oh, yeah, love them socks.
Knee highs, please.
I love you guys, I swear. But this morning we're here at Planta Queen, and I'm here with textile designer Candice Kaye, who designed this incredible wallpaper that you always see tagged on Instagram. Now, Candice, tell me how you kind of got started with this, because this is a very niche kind of job.
Right.
Yeah,
no.
An art.
Totally. When I realized textile design was what I wanted to do in my future, I was living in New York at the time, I was interning, and I was working full time. And I noticed that there was a lot of the same stuff. So same rug prints, same wallpaper, same fabric. And I realized there was a massive hole in the market that was needed. So my goal was like, I'm gonna transform the industry, I'm gonna do something different, I'm gonna do bespoke, one of a kind, go direct to the consumer, and that was my plan. And it worked.
And you did it.
Yeah.
And one of the first things that you had done was with Mama, which was a cafe in New York.
Right. So that was my first client right after school, and she knew my plan. So we would, go for coffee and talk about what I want to do with the industry. And she was like, okay, cool. I'm opening this cafe called Mama, do 4 custom prints, put them on the cups, put them on the walls and the fabric. And at the same time, social media was like, just kind of, this is 5 years ago now.
Yeah.
And anyone who came into that cafe took a picture with that cup.
Yeah.
And it was crazy.
Can you see it now? That's how people would pose with the cup. It's a real thing. And then you associate the brand with the design.
So now there's 7 locations in New York. There's one in Toronto, and you don't even need a logo.
No, it's kind of like replace that, you would say.
Yes, it's like led by design, and that was the plan, and it's worked.
Success. We were playing with the cups earlier. I'm not going to say what we were doing, but it's fine. But tell me a little bit about the process kind of from this to the computer to then the print, how it kind of all happens.
Right. So everyone thinks this is digital. It's not. The process
is all hand painted.
Hand drawn, hand painted. It starts with a concept. This is an idea of what it would look like. So images to hand drawn, hand painted. These are their actual Planta leaves, the painted version. and then it goes into the computer, and that's when I manipulate it and create the repeat and create the print.
And come have a look about what it looks like. So you create it on here, and that's how you
Yes.
kind of like layer it.
So this is in the women's bathroom here, actually, and so all these are individual layers, and this is what the print looks like when it's printed and sent to my printers in Montreal. Yeah, and then you just kind of move it around, and you play with the layout, and you play with the print, and I can adjust the brightness if I want it to be brighter or not, etc.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. Is it amazing for you to kind of be able to see, I don't know, to see it come from fruition, like from a paintbrush to and this?
That was the coolest thing, I think, like in my career at the beginning, was taking something like that and realizing what the scale would actually look like when it's printed and then put on the wall.
And you are so hands-on, Candice, which I think is admirable as an entrepreneur, is you truly sit with the client, you're with them from start to end of you installing it on your hands and knees, painting on the wall. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, no, it's true. We did one in Montauk. So Selrose is opening this weekend, and that was my first job that I actually was on site in Montauk 2 weeks, hand painting 17-foot walls. It's crazy. And we did the fabric there as well.
That's incredible. We're going to get to painting when we come back shortly, but let's go see what's going on with airborne traffic. Good morning and welcome back to Breakfast Television. This morning we're at Planta Queen, and I'm here with textile designer of this incredible wallpaper that we have behind us, Candice Kaye. Candice, we were talking a little bit earlier about how you kind of got into this and how you create one-of-a-kind pieces.
Yes.
And this floral being one of your first kind of creations, right?
This was the first flower I ever painted, and it was the first print I ever did, and it's my bestseller, and it was actually on Property Brothers. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's amazing. So why flower? How did that even like come up? Like, because I know you do everything.
Yeah. So when I was in school in New York, my professor told me if you can master the flower, you can master the industry. And so I mastered the flower, and I'm hopefully mastering the industry.
I think you did. I think you absolutely did, and that's what we're here trying to do today as well. We're here to trying to master the flower. So tell me a little bit about how you kind of go about painting this. Well, what do you use to begin with?
So there's two things. I use dye. This is Dr. P.H. Martin's, and then there's gouache paint, and this is specifically made and done for textile, for prints, for fabric. It's super vibrant. You don't need a lot of it. So,
and it's watercolor.
And Nicole's already started. And
I started. I cheated. My first one was a little rough, and Candice has fixed it up just a wee bit. But no one needs to see that.
Okay, so what you're gonna do is take a little bit of paint.
Okay.
And then just start, so in the petal, like the closest petal to the center of the flower is the darkest part.
Okay.
And then as you go down the petal, it gets lighter.
Okay, so it's like an ombre.
Yeah, yes, it's like an ombre. So you start here, and then you wet your brush and take your paper towel.
Okay.
So bossy.
Oh, I like it. It's good. I need direction.
And then as you pull up the petal, you're gonna wanna go lighter. So sometimes I'll do some petals which doesn't have a lot of paint, some petals have more paint to give it more variation. And then if you have too much paint,
she's not insinuating anything right now.
you can always wet it and then dab the petal to take the paint off.
Okay. Because it
That's it.
moves, which is nice.
It moves,
so you can like, pull it.
But you see how you don't need a lot. You don't need a lot of it.
No, you don't. Candice, how did you even get into painting? Like, were you a painter as a kid?
It's funny. I knew I could draw as a kid, but that's as far as I went. I grew up dancing and then got into photography and vlogged for a while. So I knew that I liked art or like something to do with art. And when I realized I wanted to get into textile, I literally moved to New York City, not knowing how to do any of it.
Really?
And was like, there's no plan B, and just taught myself.
Wow, that's amazing. One of the things that I love as well is that you create kind of, so we were saying you do custom wallpaper obviously, but like you work hands-on with the client to kind of create what they kind of envision.
Yeah, so I think that's what made this whole process very special, is because if I did it by myself, I can't think of all those ideas, but the client comes up with the concept, and that's how it kind of happens.
That's how it happens.
Yeah.
Well, where can people find you?
candicekayedesign.com or @_candicekaye_.
Well, that's amazing. I'm going to continue working on this. I mean, or I can just buy it, which is probably going to happen. Check her out, guys. She's so talented and amazing human as well.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. More beauty when we come back after the break.